up, lock in.
Wait, I'll say. Oh, get in here first.
Well, you have to tell us all the story.
All right.
Oh, I'm taking off the jar doing good. All right. You may be seated. You're pulling out all the stops. I'm ready.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're here about the case Jonny Depp versus Amber Heard. Well, plaintiff, you may begin your opening statement.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this case is about truth. Jonny Depp, a man whose career and reputation have been destroyed by false allegations, is here to clear his name. Throughout this trial, we will present evidence that shows these accusations have no basis in fact. Thank you.
Thank you. Defendant, now your opening statement.
Members of the jury, this trial is not about allegations, it's about accountability. Amber Heard has faced immense scrutiny for coming forward with the truth. Today you'll hear her story and see the evidence that supports it. We ask you to take the facts carefully. Thank you.
Mr. Depp, can you describe how the allegations affected your life? Oh, Mr. Depp, I'm sorry. Mr. Depp, can you please come up to the stand?
All right. First, stand.
Stand, Martin. Can you please raise your right hand? All right. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. I do.
All right. You can now see.
Mr. Depp, can you describe how these allegations have affected your life?
First, I want to start off with saying that these claims have destroyed everything I've worked for. My reputation has been tarnished. My career, my family, everything has been ripped away from me. Movie scripts, countless promotion deals that I've had. These claims are outrageous and straight up heinous. I've been fighting to clear my name and to show the world the truth. I'd never commit these acts. I've never struck her in that way, and I have never struck any woman in my life.
I agree.
Objection. What is it?
Sustained or stool.
Overruled.
I'm not perfect. I do lose my temper sometimes. But I never laid a finger on anybody. Thank you.
Mr. Depp, during your marriage with Ms. Heard, were you ever under the influence of substances or alcohol that could affect private behavior?
Yes, I was occasionally under the influence of alcohol, maybe a little bit of, marijuana, but I would have never laid a finger on her. Those influences don't affect me in that type of way. If anything, they make me sit back more and relax, actually, after dealing with so much stress about having to deal with all these movies, all these shows I'm in, and even this.
Mr. Depp, was your decision during the divorce proceedings with Ms. Heard an attempt to protect your image after she raised the divorce settlements from $4 million to $7 million?
No, this decision to increase the divorce settlement was an attempt to protect my image. I just wanted to get this over with and just be on good terms and just be done with it. I'm tired of dealing with this. I'm tired of having all these people come after me for something that is not true.
Cat Moss, you may now come to the stands. I'm at Kate, I'm sorry. Can you please raise your hand? All right. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So
I
help
do.
you God? Alright.
Miss Moss, can you share your experience with Jonny Depp during your relationship?
During our relationship from 1984 through 1998, Depp was always kind and gentle to me. He never displayed any abusive behavior. He was protective and someone who I completely trusted.
Ms. Moss, could it be possible that Jonny Depp's behavior changed after your relationship ended?
I can't speak for anybody else, but I know the man who was with. He was not capable of what he was accused of.
I see. Can you describe your time with Jonny Depp at the Golden Hour Resort in Jamaica?
When I was leaving our room during a rainstorm, I slid down some stairs and hurt my back. Jonny was the one who helped me and carried me to my room. He gave me medical attention as well.
So was he not the one that pushed you down the stairs?
He never pushed me, kicked me, or threw me at any stairs.
Really?
Yes.
Really sure?
Yes,
though?
I'm sure.
I never laid a finger on her.
Alright. Alrighty. So, Ms. Moss, have you ever, before today of course, testified in any kind of court proceeding?
No, I have never.
I see. Then, why would you testify today?
Objection, Your Honor. It's beyond the scope that is talked about.
Sustained.
So, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure where this is going. So, well, thank you for your time, Ms. Moss.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Your Honor, we would like to have Alejandro Romero as our next witness.
Okay.
Pass the vote to the leader.
Mr. Alejandro, can you please describe your experiences with Mr. Depp?
Man, it's been a while since I've seen him, or no, I didn't even really get to see him personally. I don't really remember too much, but if I really tell the full story, man, I'd kind of say I met him in a unit where Amber and me used to live back in 2015, 12, sometime like that. We were around about Mayish, July-ish.
How would you describe the relationship between the two?
To be honest, I can't really remember, but if I were to give you, some type of description, I'd say that they were, some nice people. They treated me with kindness and courtesy, nothing too crazy. I've never seen any type of actions of violence towards them. But when I'm looking at someone in the eye, I'm not looking for like if your eyebrows off or your concealer's not on right, but I'm just looking at you. I'm trying to, learn your stuff,
Yes, sir. So, a question about a question about the scratches on the door. Do you have anything to say about that?
Oh, yeah. So I run the storage units, right? And there's no security cameras in the hallways, of course, as you might have found out. So when Amber had came up to me and had told me to go check that storage unit, and she was in storage unit 34243. I had went in and seen the door. There was scratches of like 4 inches above the door, and she kept saying that someone was trying to get in. It was the dog. Well, who was trying to get in? Nobody, unless they're on the floor scratching it on all fours, then it's a dog.
Would it be possible for anybody to be injured in scratching the door?
It was who's going to be injured, sir? If you were to look at the door and see the person, what person is going to be hitting Amber or putting any hands on anybody? I had to go, they made me check the whole unit for someone. I went from unit 343263 all the way to unit 44223. And so I had to check every single one. I didn't see nobody was even touched. Everybody was fine. Only Amber and Johnny were so-called attacked.
Well, we thank you for your time, Mr. Alejandro.
Oh, no problem, man. I'm about to go get my breakfast.
Word.
Mr. Romero, I have a couple of questions for you as well.
Yes, sir.
So, you said that you didn't quite remember a few things, right?
Yeah.
So,
I don't remember what I had for breakfast, though.
So, if you don't remember, does that mean you forgot?
Not particularly forgot, just the lapse of my judgment and my memory.
I see. So, another question about the door, the scratches on the door. So,
Yes, sir.
who's to say it really wasn't a person trying to get in? Like, what if somebody was just, I don't know, getting a little silly with it, just clawing at the door, trying to get in, you know? Just giving into their primal instincts. Who's to say that didn't happen?
What sane person is scratching the door 4 inches off the ground, sir? I've never seen anything like it. They could accuse a man or they accuse Johnny or whoever else. Whose claws are that deep? Nobody's fingernails are that deep to be able to even make those type of scratches, sir.
Okay, I see. So, when you went to go check the unit, were you alone or were you by yourself?
What?
Were you alone?
Was I alone or by myself?
Yes, sir. Were you alone or were you by yourself?
Guess I was by myself.
I see. Well, those are all the questions I have for you today.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
You too, sir.
Alright, Amber, you can now come to the stands. Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Alright.
Okay, Ms. Hurd, could you please describe the nature of the start of your marriage with Mr. Depp?
At the beginning of our relationship, Johnny and I had a passionate, loving relationship. There was a lot of chemistry and excitement. However, as things went on, Johnny began to be controlling and manipulative.
Okay.
He began to show physical aggression. It became clear to me that the relationship was not as healthy as I initially thought.
You made it go this way. You made it go this way.
So, Ms. Hurd, can you tell the court about your experiences with Mr. Depp?
It was a nightmare. There were moments of kindness, but they were overshadowed by fear. I felt trapped and powerless. These allegations are my truth, and and I've endured so much to share them here today.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Sustained.
Can you describe a moment where Mr. Depp was physically violent with you?
Yes. There are multiple times when Johnny became physically violent. One instance occurred in 2015 when we were in Los Angeles. He was inebriated, and during an argument, he grabbed me by my hair and threw me to the ground.
You did that to me.
Ms. Hurd, Mr. Depp stated that he saw photos of human fecal matter, otherwise known as dump, on his bed. You blamed it on the dogs. Would you care to elaborate on this?
Man, that thing was like a log, I'm telling you. I've never seen something that big come out of a human body like that before. I was scared. I thought that was a snake. I was terrified, Your Honor. And it smelled.
Please have a seat, Mr. Depp.
There's nothing more to say on that subject. The dog defecated on the bed. Simple as that.
No, damn dog, that was you.
So now, Mr. Depp.
Your Honor, we also have some photo evidence of the abuse that Mr. underwent.
Would you like to also show the jury?
Now, Ms. Hurd, you claim that you were a victim of domestic violence in your marriage. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
If Mr. Depp was violent during your marriage, why did you never seek a restraining order or anything to get out of the domestic violence?
I didn't seek the restraining order at the time because I feared retaliation. I was worried about the reputations, the repercussions, and public fallout, especially considering Johnny's fame and influence on the public. It was not until our separation that I felt comfortable enough to even come forward.
Ms. Hurd, isn't it possible that these claims are exaggerated or even fabricated, given the lack of concrete evidence?
No. These are my lived experiences. It's not something I would make up. It's what I went through.
Thank you.
Miss Whitney, Miss Whitney, can you please come to the stand? Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and the whole truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Ms. Enriquez, can you tell us more what you witnessed in Amber's relationship with that?
I saw Johnny a few times, and throughout those times he was very violent.
Who is this?
He was violent, often screaming and yelling at her and throwing objects, often while also intoxicated. Amber confided in me in so many things as she's been through. She has come forward to me about all the abuse that she has gone through and how it's taken a toll on her.
If Amber confided in you through her abuse, why are you speaking out now? After all this time?
Because Amber deserves for her story to be told. It's wrong to keep silent.
Do you believe that Ms. Hurd may have dramatized some of her experiences to seem more sympathetic?
No. No, why would she even make that up? She would never she would never think to make such horrific accusations towards somebody like this. With so many victims going through this almost daily.
You're saying?
Sustained.
Dawn Hughes, you cannot come to the stand. Please solemnly swear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you. So help you, God.
I do.
Please.
you've been Ms. Heard's therapist for a good while now. It's safe to say that you were rather qualified in these things, right?
Yes, sir.
So, if you really are qualified, can you tell us what color the sky is?
Objection, Your Honor, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Objection, liar, liar, pants on fire.
Objection, his arm on fire.
Exactly, objection. If I'm a liar, then why are my pants on fire?
And if he's a liar, why did his nose grow?
Facts.
You're right. My apologies.
Exactly.
So, Ms. Hughes, as Ms. Heard's therapist, can you tell us about her mental state during the relationship with Mr. Depp?
She suffered from significant emotional distress and anxiety. She frequently described feeling unsafe and trapped in the relationship. The pattern of abuse that Ms. Heard described fits what is known as intimate partner violence, which often involves verbal, emotional, and physical abuse.
Ms. Hughes, did you witness any abuse, or are your statements based solely on what Ms. Heard has told you?
Excuse me? My testimony is based on my professional assessment.
Ms. Hughes, for the sake of credibility, how much are we being compensated by the defendant's party for your testimony as a witness?
While I believe my compensation has no relation to the credibility of my statements, $500 an hour. However, this in no way discredits my assessments and conclusions as a professional who heard this story.
Thank you.
Members of the jury, the testimony you've heard today contradicts the claims against Jonny Depp. The evidence does not support his allegations, and we ask that you deliver a verdict that restores his reputation.
Ladies and gentlemen, this case is about listening to survivors. Amber Heard has bravely shared her story, supported by credible witnesses. We ask you to honor her truth and deliver a fair verdict.
Members of the jury, please deliberate and come to a decision.
It's getting intense out there. I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all did a good job.
Thanks. I still didn't get my breakfast.
I just want to know who was driving the car when you were explaining like this.
Me. I was in
It's a
parking.
Tesla.
Oh, there you go. My old boss is suing Tesla because the Tesla that her husband was driving went into self-drive mode
On its own?
and it wrecked into a culvert and killed her husband.
Are you
Yeah.
serious, Your Honor?
Yep, serious. And I want to say y'all picked an excellent bailiff. She's not showed any emotion the whole time.
At all.
Now, I would say she's not very good at
Maintaining.
deterring unruly outbursts.
Use your authority.
We, the jury, in the case of Depp versus Heard, find the defendant guilty on the charges of three counts of defamation and with insanely liable compensatory and punitive damages by falsely accusing Mr. Depp of sexual violence and domestic abuse.
I did not.
Out of sadness, you also award Ms. Heard $2 million compensatory damages.
Thank you. This concludes today's trial. The court is adjourned.
Yay.